everyone, since I enjoy making the favorite countdown sort of videos, I'm going to be doing a countdown on my favorite Tom Hanks movies. Tom Hanks is one of my favorite actors ever. He is so fun, and he has a great catalog of versatile roles that he has done since he's started in film, and I just enjoy every performance that he does. He's just a lovable guy both on and off screen, so I thought I would do a video commemorating my love for Tom Hanks with my 10 favorite Tom Hanks movies. And so we're going to do a little short countdown and briefly talk about why I love these movies in particular. Number 10 is Sleepless in Seattle. I am a big chick flick kind of person, and I do really love this movie. I think his chemistry with Meg Ryan is awesome. He's done movies with Meg Ryan several times, and this is one of them. It's not my favorite Meg Ryan movie, but it's definitely probably like a top 3 or something. But it's just a really enjoyable, fun chick flick, and it was very inspired from An Affair to Remember, which is another great romantic movie. It's just a very classic. I think if people want to start watching chick flicks, this is one of the pivotal ones in my opinion. Number 9 is Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio. I just really liked his character in this movie because while Leonardo DiCaprio was supposed to be like the sort of bad person in this movie, like the villain in a way, but yet Tom Hanks is also supposed to be the villain because you were supposed to sort of root for Leonardo's character, which is actually based off a true story. And you know, Tom Hanks' character was more portrayed as the villain, even though he was the cop and he was the good guy and he was the guy part of the law. You wanted to root for Leonardo, but I always loved Tom's character because he was supposed to be the good guy. Number 8 is Toy Story. Of course, Tom Hanks was only the voice of Woody, but it was just a movie that I grew up with and I loved since I was a kid. Just like it's your childhood, and I grew up with that Pixar movie and that series, and Toy Story 3 seriously makes me cry every time I see it. The end where, you know, he gives away his toys to the little girl. Oh, it just slays me every time. Number 7 is Saving Mr. Banks. I thought he played the perfect Walt Disney. This was a movie that really surprised me that I was going to like that much because I didn't really expect to really enjoy it as much as I really ended up doing. And he just captured that amazing element of Walt Disney and the magic that Walt Disney had in the imagination and creativity, that he believed in this company and believed in the movies. And it was just a really magical experience. I think he went above and beyond than I thought he was going to do in this movie, and he made it really more enjoyable than I assumed to be. He was a nice supporting actor in that movie. Unfortunately, he did not get too much recognition, if not any recognition, during the award season at that time because he was also doing Captain Phillips, which he did get recognition for, which is awesome. But that movie's not on my list. I didn't really like that movie very much. I don't know why. I thought it was good at times, but I don't know. I just didn't connect with it. And number 6 is Big. This is a classic Tom Hanks 80s movie. Wait, not 80s. This is a classic Tom Hanks movie back when he was first sort of just getting bigger. Haha. But this is just a really fun movie. It has a lot of great iconic parts in it, such as the big piano, you know, and his scenes with, I don't know, I can't remember her name, but she played Celia on Weeds, and he was really cute when he was like super, well, of course he's an attractive man, but he was just so cute when he was, you know, his like early 20s, mid-20s. He was just really gorgeous. But that movie is so fucked up, just the concept of it, but it's a really fun movie. I really enjoyed it because I had seen bits and pieces of it years ago, but I never saw the full thing until recently, and I love it, and I was like, this is so Tom Hanks. Number 5 is Philadelphia, which I think was probably one of his best roles to date. Of course, some of my number 5, but this was his first win for the Oscar. He won 2 years in a row. This was his first one in '93. He played a man who had AIDS. And of course, this was around the time that it wasn't okay to be gay. And it was little more accepting because it was becoming more of a common theme, but you know, you could still get fired and discriminated against because you were gay. And not only was he gay, but he had HIV, which became full-blown AIDS because, you know, nobody knew how to take care of it, nobody knew what it was. And Denzel Washington plays his very, very homophobic lawyer. You know, of course he just wants it in for the money. You know, he doesn't truly believe that Tom Hanks is in the right there, but you know, you're a lawyer and you know, sometimes they're quite sleazy. His character really threw me off. It made me not like this movie as much as I, you know, maybe it seemed to be, but as a film sort of, I don't want to say critic, but as somebody who needs to see and beyond that and be more open-minded to the other point of view of some things. As a performance, it was very brilliant, but, you know, of course I'm biased. So I just thought Tom Hanks' character was incredible, as well as Antonio Banderas, who played his lover and partner. That is my dog playing with a chew toy. Sorry about that. But yeah, his performance blew me out of the water, and when I found out he didn't win the Oscar for that, I thought that was really well deserved. And number 4 is Castaway, which is a movie that really surprised me. Of course, you hear everything about Wilson the frickin' volleyball and him shouting in the ocean wanting Wilson back, which is super weird and silly, but also really tragic if you really know the story behind it. Castaway is about this man who is in like the post office service industry, where he flies various places with delivering mail and stuff, and he goes and is gonna go back home, I believe, or he's gonna go somewhere else. I can't exactly remember. And his plane crashes in the middle of like the ocean and nowhere, and he's the only survivor eventually, and he has all like these people's mail, and he doesn't want to open people's mail because it's, you know, an invasion of privacy, and it's what goes against what he works for. So, you know, he doesn't think he's going to be living on this island forever. But eventually he starts to open some of the packages, and it's useless stuff. It's not anything that he can really live on, like food and clothing and stuff. But he finds his volleyball, who becomes like his friend because his handprint. I just remember the one scene where he like something with his tooth, and he had to like take out one of his teeth. That was just traumatizing to me, but that performance was incredible. A movie where it's about just one dude on this island can keep you interested, then I know it's a freaking great performance. Number 3 is The Terminal, which is another movie I did not expect to really enjoy because I didn't know anything really about it. It's based on a true story, sort of, about this guy who gets trapped in the airport for years and years, and apparently there's a guy based in true story who got stuck in the Paris airport. He was in the limbo of the system where he couldn't leave, in his character in the movie. He was from like this, one of these like Russian countries, and they were having a big war, and he couldn't go back home, and he also couldn't leave America to go out of the airport into America because his passport was kind of like all messed up, and so he lived in this airport and kind of just adapted to living there, and he kind of became friends with everybody who worked there, and it really was a cute story, and I just loved it so much. It was such a great, fun, heartwarming movie, and you know, it's hard to find movies like that nowadays, because this was made like 2005, 2004, 2005, maybe 2003, I don't know, that 2002, in early 2000s, and it's just hard to find movies like that still nowadays. So it was a really great movie. Number 2 is You've Got Mail, which I'm really surprised is not my favorite Tom Hanks movie. You'll see my favorite Tom Hanks movie, and I bet you already know what it is. But I love You've Got Mail. It's my favorite Meg Ryan movie. It's my favorite chick flick. It is so fun. I don't know why, because it was like made in 1998, so like right around where computers were just starting to become domesticated, and everybody was starting to have a computer, and you know, AOL's You've Got Mail, and it was just two people who fell in love through chats. Even though they knew each other in real life, they were like fighting against each other in this book industry, and she had a small bookshop and he had this humongous big corporation of chain of bookstores that were taking over the city and were gonna take out her business. But online they were in love and falling in love in these relationships they were not happy with their partners, and they just finally met each other, and it was like, I love movies that are like enemies but then they fall in love. I love that shit. I always have and I always will, and maybe that's why I'm drawn to it, but I just love the time period it's set in, and just the city it's in, and whatever. It's just an awesome, it just makes me feel like warm inside. I just love it. It's a happy, cheesy chick flick, and I love it. My number 1 favorite Tom Hanks movie, it's probably predictable, but it's Forrest Gump. And if your favorite Tom Hanks movie isn't Forrest Gump, I don't know how it's not, because I'm a big Tom Hanks fan and that one's still my favorite. He was Forrest Gump. It's probably his most iconic role. There's not just one point in this movie that's quotable or that's rememberable. The whole thing is incredible and rememberable, and because it follows our history, our US history, but yet in Forrest way. And it's just a story about a man who never gives up and never lets life get him down. He always overcomes those obstacles, whether it's, you know, his mental capacity or physical when he had his legs were braced up, or, you know, with his love for Jenny and he can never be, and all this obstacles and all this stuff that's stopping him never lets him stop dreaming and never lets him stop being who he wants to be and who he is. And it's a really inspiring story, and it's just a really funny, awesome movie I never get sick of. I've seen it 100 times, and I bet you have too. It's just the classic, perfect Tom Hanks movie. If I could recommend any Tom Hanks movie, if you've never seen, which is crazy to me, go watch Forrest Gump. And of course he has millions of other great movies I didn't mention in this video, but those are my favorites. Those are my top 10s. And Tom Hanks is just so awesome. He is so awesome in real life too. He's a cool guy. He's like a cool dad. You know, he's a cool bro. So those are my favorite Tom Hanks movies, and tell me what yours is in the comments below if I didn't mention them, you know, like the Da Vinci Code or Captain Phillips or Splash, what I have not seen, or Bosom Buddies, his TV show, whatnot. So yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching, subscribing. I will probably be putting up my Something Like Lightning video after this one. I wanted to wait a little bit more time because I just put up that review, but I did read it like a few weeks ago, so I hopefully everything that I was thinking about when I read that book, I still remember now, so I can review it. I'll talk to you guys later.